Hey everyone, it's Alex, and welcome to the Marvel Snap Decks of the Week, the weekly series where I showcase the top whatever number of decks I end up talking about that week in Marvel Snap. And if you like to support the content, be sure to hit the like button. It's free and it helps tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. And as is tradition, we're doing things a little differently this week because Untapped, according to the stats they're showing, the stats make no sense up until the OTA. So I don't know if there's like some sort of data outage they're experiencing right now. So we're going to use the last 30 days for our statistics and talking about the decks. Just do bear that in mind. I usually like to talk about stats up from the OTA, but for some reason, Untapped's not really showing that right now, so I don't know what's going on with their servers, but we move on as we discuss what I believe to be the best deck in Marvel Snap right now, running a 59% win rate and a 0.47 cube rate last 30 days in its move. Listen, Second Dinner wants to sell season passes. They merc Mercury is what I said. That kind of makes sense. They nuke Mercury. Mercury's now a 3 cost. It's a massive change. They've already destroyed the Cannonball as well with a very significant nerf in prior OTAs. Mercury got absolutely demolished. And guess what they're releasing? A whole season pass full of movement-based cards. There's some absolute bangers in there. I can't wait to discuss it all as well. But generally speaking, move's crazy. It actually kind of blows my mind that they nerfed Mercury. I honestly can't even speak today. It blows my mind that they nerfed Mercury and then allowed, just move to run rampant. It's honestly the best deck in Marvel Snap right now, and that's without question. If you're looking to rank up, if you're looking to get to the top, if you're looking to do high elo gameplay, this is the one. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. If you're an Infinite right now and you don't really care that much about your rank, or even if you're not an Infinite, you don't care too much about your rank, which I think is becoming more and more common, what I would suggest is honestly putting in the practice with this deck. Start kind of figuring out your move. If you don't play move a lot, this whole next season is going to be a move-centric season. Start practicing now. Why not? The deck is really good, and yes, it has some expensive pieces like Sparky and Madam Web and stuff like that, but generally speaking, this deck has been clapping cheeks, and if you want to get to the top of the meta, I think this is going to be the way to do it. Now, I don't want to put on a tinfoil hat. Where's my controller? Let's put the tinfoil hat back on here. Do they nerf move next season? I don't think so. It seems like they're really trying to set up the next season to be particularly move-centric and sell a lot of season passes and cards and stuff. Move might stay pretty good for a bit. Tinfoil hat off. Just throwing it out there. I don't know. Just the proof is in the pudding with some of these OTA changes. Let's talk about the next deck here. Waifu only text. Not yet. You guys aren't ready for that. Zombie Galacti, oh man, this card is awful. All the decks are in the 40% win rate range. The card is performing awful across the board. And so this was a deck with almost no stats on it. The stats are basically irrelevant. It only had 100 games played on it. But it was one of the more interesting and perhaps better performing of the Galacti shells, Galacti shells. And so ultimately, if you want to give Zombie Galacti a shot and you're desperate for those tokens, give this one a shot. But honestly, this card has woefully underperformed. And I don't recommend trying to rank with. Oh man, what an absolute miss. It's unfortunate too because it is a cool card, man. It's a cool card. It's just not doing. It's one of those things on paper, like the card looks cool on paper, then you play it and you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Oh, Zombie Galacti, what a shame. Anyways, this is going to be a good choice for you if you're looking to get the weekend mission done. Otherwise, avoid at all costs. Then we're going to go to Zombie Scarlet Witch. 56% win rate, 0.16 cube rate. It's way too low. This is not one of the best decks of the week. This is a weekend mission call out, just like Zombie Galacti. I actually do like the way this deck is designed though, because you're able to use Madam Web to kind of keep generating space for the Zombie Scarlet Witch. Moreover, doing something like Zombie Scarlet Witch on 3 and then you play your Hunger and then Cosmo on 4, then you have a Cosmo under Madam Web. That's so cool, man. I really like Madam Web and Cosmo because it creates some really interesting game situations. And so ultimately, I've had fun with this deck. Note the Zombie Sentry doesn't make this list. If you like to put them in, why not? Go ahead. Zombie Sentry doesn't appear to be helping all that much with the Horde archetypes, but at the end of the day, as I said, we are experiencing some issues with the Untapped base service, so we have limited statistics. And as a result, if you're willing to give it a shot, then you can definitely throw it in a deck like this, because this has been one of the more capable shells for Zombie Scarlet Witch. And I know for the most part, you're just trying to get that weekend mission done. And so a decent win rate will get you there, right? not going to be necessarily a climber. For the next deck, it should be no surprise that Sauron is making a top 10. It's been a pretty consistent deck overall, but I do feel like the nerf has impacted it a little bit. You're looking at a 57% win rate and a 0.33 cube rate. This is a bit on the lower end of cube rates this week. However, what I will tell you is with the Super Premium Season Pass card coming out next month, you are looking at a lot of potential synergy with the Sauron base package, and so you lose one power here and you might be gaining a whole lot with the Man Spider, who kind of essentially allows you to reverse merge and erase the text of cards like Red Skull, Typhoid Mary, stuff like that. Now, this particular shell is running more of the Disruption package, including Supergiant and Negasonic. It has the Shadow King in it alongside the Red Guardian, so it's not your traditional Sauron-based shell. You are stripping the effect off Starbrand and Red Skull, of course, but I do think that Sauron's going to have a pretty significant reemergence next season alongside Man Spider, who I think is probably going to be a pretty decent card overall. All right, coming in at number 7, we do have Heralds of Hand, which is running a 57% win rate and a 0.41 cube rate. Herald of Galactus base decks have been doing particularly well. Galactus First Steps has been one of those cards that even during the season at which it came out, people were like kind of ho-hum on it, but it has continued to be relatively decent. It has continued to be a meta, I don't want to say meta staple, but it's been in the top 10 week after week, just kind of in like the lower half side. And so it's kind of, I guess, a little underappreciated. Now, this has slightly less tech slop than it did before. It still has Mobius and Mobius, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and one of the sloppiest of tech slop in Stardust. But long story short, I do like this deck because you have the Wiccan, which allows you to play something like Galactus Fantastic Four First Steps and a Victoria Hand on turn 6, which can honestly provide some significant clappage. And honestly, speed, I love speed. It's one of my favorite variants in the game. Just throwing it out there. But honestly, speed is good. Gets the 3/9 power. You're like laughing because that's just beautiful for a card that feels so low committal that you can play it pretty much any time. And again, honestly, Cosmic Ghost Rider does have a very large utility range. Does very good against end of turn decks, stuff like that, which we're going to be seeing shortly too. So Heralds of Hand continues to be a pretty solid choice as we go into that next season. And we do have Khonshu Apocalypse. Yes, this is the highest performing version of Khonshu, despite what some of us might have hoped for in Zombie Galacti. Let's not bring that up, please. But anyways, Colonel America, Zombie Power Man are making these decks. Khonshu and Apocalypse, MODOK, Dracula. This is a traditional discard APOC Khonshu deck. It's clapping cheeks, 59% win rate, 0.42 cube rate. I don't know what else to say about it other than it has clearly proven that it can stand the test of time. Gambit's a bit of a sensual play here. I mean, it can scam you from time to time, but you have so many things that you just like discarding anyways, and why not play a little bit of Gambit? If you don't want to play Gambit, you can do something like the Colleen Wing, who, honestly, the nerf has been felt with Colleen Wing. Ever since she got nerfed, it feels like people are more willing to play something like a Gambit, right? You got similar power, same power. Obviously, Gambit's more expensive, but you get that huge trade, which can be very beneficial as well. So anyways, coming in at number 6, you do have Khonshu Discard. Number 5, last week we had 2 different versions of Ongoing, and this version here has been the one that has definitely kind of stood the test of time. 57% win rate, 0.45 cube rate, and that is going to be the Stardust Ongoing shell. You got Spectrum as the closer. I love Moonstone in these types of decks, especially when you think about you have Mr. Fantastic, Captain Carter, Moonstone. Like, those are lanes that are won. This is also one of the key places where you still see Sam Wilson Captain America, who largely is being unplayed other than this deck and I guess some Moose shells that kind of want to use the Hydro Stomper. Why'd you say Hydro Stomper? He loves stomping on puddles and water, I guess. But anyways, it's a good deck. It's ongoing. Nothing too sensual here, but at the same time, it is pretty sensual. Going in at number 5, I feel like we're going faster than usual here, but that's okay. We've got Namora, 57% win rate, 0.50. Now, this is one of those ones that has a very low play rate, but I'm telling you guys, last 30 days stats, this deck is clapping. 57%, man. 57%. And look at that cube rate. It's amongst the absolute highest of the week. It has Frankie Ray Nova, and honestly, it has one of my favorite combinations in this game, which is going to be the Symbiote Spider-Man Black Panther Zola. Is it completely choreographed? Yes, of course. Choreographed, telegraphed, whatever. People know it's coming. People know it's coming. But at the same time, there's something beautiful about Lasher, because Lasher is not only a fantastic card in C2, and I do think that C2 and some of the Cerebro decks are going to be making a comeback next season too. Low key. Keep an eye out for that. But long story short, I love Lasher in this deck. I love Jeff in this deck. I love Frankie Ray in this deck. There's so many things I love in this deck. The only thing it's missing is Galactus. If I'm playing Symbiote Spider-Man, I want to make people kneel. I can't stop myself because I see Symbiote Spider-Man, I see Agony. G-Man is just free real estate half the time. No one sees it coming. Just make him kneel, man. Just make him kneel. If you want to play this deck, I think you cut Wong, you add G-Man. That's just me throwing it out there. But anyways, I'm a little psychotic sometimes. All right, gamers, let's get into the top 3. And Destroy is still making the top 3 to 58% win rate, 0.39 cube rate. But listen, the nerf to X23, I think, is being felt. In my opinion, people kind of undersold the idea that, like, you're taking power off of Null. You're taking power off of Venom. The whole thing about X23, and sometimes you would see games where like X23 is being Hulkbustered or Agonied and just being used as a generative force for Destroy as a whole, that is completely negated. This does feature Moira X though. Hell yeah, I like that. Headpool as well. Uncle Benjamin is here as well. It's a cool deck. Don't get me wrong. I do like it. I love Destroy. Destroy's been one of my favorite archetypes this season, without question. If I was just playing one thing this season, it might be the Namora deck. No, it's not the Namora. It's Destroy. I like Destroy better than the Namora shell, to be honest with you. But I think that the X23 nerf is kind of psychotic. I still don't really agree with it. Let Destroy be a barometer in Snap. It is one of the most fair archetypes in the game. I know it can be annoying from like I'm playing against too much Destroy perspective, and that's the same with any deck. You want some variation in the meta, but I don't see Destroy as like a deck that has an unfair like playstyle. Like it's interactive. You're as an opponent, like if someone's playing Destroy, like you could play Mobius and Mobius and their death ain't free. You could Shang-Chi, one of their big tunes. You could, Shadow King. There are so many ways that you can interact with Destroy. It doesn't quite feel the same. So some of the other more interactive decks, like the Hella decks that were kind of taken off. So I'm still a little disappointed with the Destroy nerf, but we'll see. Coming in at number 2, you have the End of Turn archetype. 59% win rate, 0.53 cube rate. Still remains good, even though it has a nerf to the Black Cat, who is honestly so unbelievably inferior to Hydration Bobbert at this point. If you're going to be playing a 1/4 End of Turn card, you play Bobbert, unless you just really want both, which apparently is what exactly this deck wants to do. Now, End of Turn has been kind of weird because when it first came out, you had Fantastic Card, and then people are experimenting with like High Evo, and then this stuff started coming out. Then they're like, well, this is kind of powerful, isn't it? So they take a little bit off Sunspot. They take a little bit off the Invisible Woman First Steps, which when they released it, completely shot everything through the roof. They took the scaling off of Havoc. And then they released Jocasta, and Jocasta starts popping everything off again. It's like, man, what is going on with this deck? Long story short, it's mad cringe, but it's still one of the best decks in the game at a 59% win rate. You're gonna do particularly well with this deck here. And number 1, even though Supergiant got nerfed, and even though Alioth got nerfed, you seriously can play some of this because this is solid, man. You gain your initiative with the Black Cat, the Bob. You gain the extra cards with the Iron Patriot, which go very well with the 1-drops that gain initiative and hold it very well. And then, of course, you have Terrax the Tamer, who's a cheat clapper. You have Quake, which can definitely steal some games for you here and there. Quake's a bit of a spicy pick here, but it's still pretty good. But then you got the Supergiant Negasonic plays, right? You get to kind of steal some cubes there. And then you got the massive Darkhawk that you can hide behind the Supergiant. You have the Alioth that you can clap with, right? So this deck does really well. Ultimately, that 1 power off Supergiant is probably non-consequential because the deck is still performing well and expected to perform well. But, I do like Darkhawk, man. It's good to see it back in the meta. Thanks so much for watching, guys. A little bit of a different week this week, but I still hope that this video has been helpful for you. If it has been, consider subscribing, hit that like button, and all that YouTuber cringe. We'll see you on that next one.